Hey, what's up? Have you ever wondered if we as Americans are flying the flag the right way? Check it out. Harvey Dent breaks the whole scenario down. Watch and enjoy. Make sure that you like, dislike, but most important, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. Alright? V for victory. Enjoy the video by Harvey Dent.
Welcome to the Intellectual Freedom Movement. I'm your host, Harvey Dent, and today I think I'm going to prove to you that Americans are flying the wrong flag. Are Americans flying the wrong flag? Well, according to one source, Americans absolutely are, and he produces proof in documentation, I guess you could say. Military flag versus civil flag. Do you know the difference? The military flag of peacetime is the one that flew over Fort McHenry during its bombardment by the British Navy at the start of the War of 1812, and which Francis Scott Key immortalized in his poem, which would refer to as our national anthem. The only reason Fort McHenry was flying Old Glory instead of the civil flag of peacetime was that Fort McHenry was obviously a military installation, and since war had not yet formally been declared, it was obligated to fly the U.S. military flag of peacetime. Had war already officially been declared by Congress, the fort would have flown the U.S. military flag of war, which has gold fringe added on three sides. It was only after World War II that the American people forgot about the real U.S. civil flag of peacetime that used to fly over non-military federal buildings during peacetime. Today, people fly the U.S. military flag of peacetime, Old Glory, or Stars and Stripes, without realizing that they are flying the wrong flag. They should be flying the flag above with the vertical lines. Go into any courtroom in the U.S. and see which flag is on display. In most cases, it will be the U.S. military flag of war with the gold fringe, which means the court is informing you that you are entering a military court, also called a maritime admiralty court, in which the U.S. Constitution is suspended and the judge can deny you a trial by jury at his discretion, and just as the captain of a ship at sea can issue summary judgments by himself, no conviction by a jury required. He can also make up the rules as he wants. Prior to World War II, most Americans were aware of these facts. Non-federal buildings with a state never flew a U.S. flag, ever. They flew only their state's flag. Thus, in paintings and photos prior to 1940, flags on all non-federal buildings were solely state flags, and a state building never flew a U.S. flag of any type. The only place most people ever saw an official U.S. flag was at the post office in their towns. And since post offices are civil, not military buildings, the flag flown was always the official U.S. flag of peacetime. Every American child used to learn these facts in grammar school until the mid-1940s. Americans today are not stupid, they are simply ignorant because they were never taught these facts. Oddly enough, many people think that the law of the flags is an outdated relic of the past. Not true. Indeed, every ship at sea is required to be registered with a particular country, and it must fly a flag of that country. That is international maritime law, aka commercial law, to this very day. Your flag informs others who you are and if your nation is currently at war. Other people dismiss the law of the flag as not applicable within the U.S., often citing statutes conferring upon the president as commander-in-chief the power to add gold fringe, gold tassels, etc. to the flag at his discretion. That is true, but such statutes apply only with federal zones under the exclusive jurisdiction of Congress, which statutes do not void international maritime law. So the next time you appear in court to contest a speeding ticket and demand a trial by jury of 12 peers, as guaranteed by the Sixth Amendment, don't be surprised if the judge denies it. Yeah, don't be surprised if the judge just makes up his own rules and does what he has to do in order to cover the fraud. Basically, you were warned by the flag what kind of courtroom you were entering, so you subject them to their jurisdiction. Now, on to this man's proof. He pulls out a book from 1840 that everyone knows, Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter, published in 1850, and basically describes the flag to a T. Here, with a view from its front windows adown, this not very enlivening prospect, and thence across the harbor stands a spacious edifice of brick. From the loftiest point of its roof, during precisely 3.5 hours each forenoon, floats and droops, in breeze or calm, the banner of the Republic, but with the 13 stripes turned vertically instead of horizontally, thus indicating that a civil and not a military post of Uncle Sam's government is here established. Its front is ornamented with a portico of half a dozen wooden pillars supporting a balcony beneath which a flight of wide granite steps descends towards the street. Over the entrance hovers an enormous specimen of the American eagle with outspread wings, a shield before her breast, and if I recollect aright, a bunch of intermingled thunderbolts and barbed arrows in each claw. With the customary infirmity of temper that characterizes this unhappy fowl, she appears by the fierceness of her beak and eye and the general truculency of her attitude to threaten mischief to the inoffensive community, and especially to warn all citizens careful of their safety against intruding on the premises which she overshadows with her wings. Nevertheless, vixenly as she looks, many people are seeking at this very moment to shelter themselves under the wing of the federal eagle, imagining, I presume, that her bosom has all the softness and snugness of an eider-down pillow. But she has no great tenderness even in her best moods, and sooner or later, oftener soon than late, is apt to fling on her nestlings with a scratch of her claw, a dab of her beak, or a wrinkling wound from her barbed arrows. End of quote by Nathaniel Hawthorne in the Scarlet Letter, published in 1850. Such has been the path that has brought us under the law of military flag. This should have raised serious questions for many citizens long ago, but we've been educated to listen and believe what we are told, not to ask questions or think for ourselves and search for the truth. The source is down in the description, and I think that I have pretty much in a few minutes proven that everyone who is flying these silly-ass horizontally striped flags are flying flags of their military flags in peacetime, but of this federal government, which is an absolute and total fraud. Do you know the difference between military and civil? Are you in the military? Do you like the military courtroom? Well, if you like what I'm doing here, won't you go ahead and click that like button? You know you want to like it, subscribe, share, comment, dislike, do something so your brothers and sisters know that you're alive out there. Like standing up and admitting with the rest of y'all that, hey, I was fooled by their ugly military flag too. Until you find your truth, keep looking.